Hi everyone, welcome to this short introduction to TSANet video. My name's Dennis Smeltzer. I'll be your host for this video today. And what we're essentially going to do is just walk through some of the basics about TSANet. If this video happens to spur about more questions, I invite you to go to our website. There's a lot of information out there. You can also schedule another call. We'd be more than happy to talk to you about any detail that we're going to go into. I'm not going to get into a lot of intricate details about TSANet. It's actually pretty simple to begin with. But I do want to touch on several things and how some of our members are using the organization to actually save on costs quite a bit. So we'll walk you through that as well. I always start out every presentation. I think it's important to understand we are a not-for-profit alliance. We've been around since 1993. It's governed by a board of directors. And I think this is important for you to understand simply because it's a very member driven organization. We take our direction from our members and we give you the opportunity, and you'll see that as we go through the slides, for you to give your input into the organization, how we can make it better and do things that help solve relationship problems for your customers. If I were to look at this at a really high level and say, what does TSANet do? These are the main bullet points that I'd probably bring up and talk about. We're providing a legal framework. It's called a code of conduct. It's got confidentiality clause, things like that, that are in that every member company is agreeing to the same verbiage. And we can create different relationships and do a lot of different things from a relationship perspective, but it starts with this foundation legal framework that has these elements in it. So everyone is agreeing to the same legal framework, and that actually simplifies a lot of things when you want to create relationships because we're not allowing any changes to that. We'll get into the TSANet Connect platform. We'll talk about that quite a bit, and that is something. Just so you know, I know data security is a big thing that everybody is talking about now, and we've gone through ISO 27001 as well as ISO 27701, and we're now certified in those standards. So you can be assured that we've gone through the data security issues that most companies seem to be concerned about. And again, what we're doing is you'll see that we also provide something outside of the scope of just, hey, I need to collaborate with this other member. We have a technical knowledge exchange. We share best practices, things like that. It's an alliance. It's an association that you can be part of, and we'll talk about some of our regional focus groups, things like that as well. It's a relationship infrastructure. There's some things that we predefined regarding a relationship. Some of them involve mutual customers, some of them do not. But when you look at this at a high level, understand that you can create just about any kind of relationship that you want to, whether it's a one to many, a many to many, a partner program. And we'll talk about that as well as we get into it. And this is kind of dovetail off of that, right? The relationships typically fall into these categories right here. The most common one, and the one that we started out with in TSANet, is this ability for you to collaborate with another member company, but always where it involves a mutual customer. So there's always an entitled mutual customer between the two parties, and we'll talk about how that occurs. But that's one of the relationships that's predefined. We call it open group relationship, that allows you to come into this big ecosystem with a bunch of different companies, and you're either a standard or premium or elite member, and you come in and you're able to collaborate with another partner where that mutual customer is involved. And that typically means an entitled mutual customer, although not necessarily. There's a lot of variations, and we certainly give flexibility within this common customer collaboration platform. I mentioned at the very beginning of this, and this is something very important. I think a lot of companies use TSANet as a platform to pull in their partner programs. And whether it's a technology or a channel partner program, it can be a very cost savings benefit for you to be able to use TSANet. You just direct your partners over to the TSANet site. You've created your own ecosystem with whatever elements in the relationship that you want. You're able to pull those companies in through the TSANet platform. We made it very easy to do that. I'm not going to dig into that a lot in this one. Just to be aware that that is a potential for you to use TSANet, use the TSANet Connect platform. A lot of companies do it. Saves them a lot of money in being able to manage their partners and pull them into a relationship. But also keep in mind that some companies will also use TSANet in multiple ways, including strategic relationships, and it could be where you're providing a first level support or a second level support. You can still create that relationship. So there's nothing that says, even though we started the organization out this way, that you have to have a mutual customer. There's nothing that says that you have to have that as a foundation for a relationship. So we can do solution support models, all sorts of different things. I think I got that point across. Um, this is a very high level look at the TSANet Connect platform. So this is really where the rubber meets the road, right? If you want to collaborate with another member, how does that work? How are we getting them together? Here's the big thing that you probably need to understand, and especially from a data security perspective. The TSANet 1.0 process right now is a form-based system that allows you to engage another member by telling them, hey, I need to open up a support incident with you. It also gives you the ability as the receiver to come in and say, okay, I understand you want to collaborate with me. I've got this information about uh, who it is that wants to collaborate with me, what the problem is, and this is how I want to collaborate with you. So the receiver goes back to the sender and says, okay, I understand. I got the request. I got the information about the person and the company that wants to collaborate with me, and this is how we're going to collaborate further on down the case. Once that occurs, TSANet is really stepping out of the process. And what that does is although we're capturing some basic information that will give you some metrics, what it does do is it keeps us out of a lot of issues because we're not collecting a lot of information regarding the details of the case or any customer sensitive information. In fact, you would not put any customer sensitive information into the TSANet Connect platform. You're only going to put information in there to be able to submit a case or for you to be able to acknowledge a case and tell that company, this is how I want to collaborate with you. Now, there are other things that are built into it. There's SLAs behind this, depending on the relationship that you're coming into. There's automatic escalation paths that are also put in. There's a requirement for you to be able to acknowledge a case within a certain time frame, and if we don't, then TSANet actually gets involved in the case, and we'll come back to you and say, "Hey, there was a case that somebody submitted to you. You didn't acknowledge it within the time frame. We want to make sure that collaboration occurs." So I will walk through this in a little bit more detail, give you an idea of what it's like from a support engineer's experience to be able to submit a case to a company, and really every company's got their own landing page. They're coming into this, they're picking the company that they're going to collaborate with. That's based on a lot, has to do with your membership level, which we'll talk a little bit about that as well. But again, it's a form based system, and you're coming into it, and it's going to predefine who the engineer is, and that information will be pre populated. And then again, over here in this problem information area, you're saying, hey, this is the problem that I've got. In a lot of cases, it would involve, and the form that I have pulled up here is one that requires there be a mutual customer, a common customer between the two parties. So they'd put in that information. This can be customized. We'll talk a little bit about that. I'll even give you a little demo so you can put some fields in there that would automatically entitle a mutual customer, something you might use like a serial number or an account number, something like that. And then again, based on the relationship that you're in, you would select the priority of the call and submit that case off. That's gonna flow over to the other company. There may be some things that we work with that other company where it actually flows into a CRM system, or it may just come in as an email to a distribution list. But the engineer that submitted that case is going to get back an email from TSANet Connect, and it's going to have a summary of what they just sent in. It also will have escalation information. So if that company does not respond, or for whatever reason down the road you need to actually escalate that call, you're going to be able to get that. Now, the engineer, right? So that case is going to flow in. And if you're receiving it, then you're going to be able to click on a little button that says, all right, I'm responding to this company. And that's going to be where you're going to put in, here is my case number. Here is how I want to collaborate with you further. This is how we're going to do that. And then again, TSANet's going to record some very basic information. And then you're collaborating now where we've made that contact between those two partners. Now you're off working in a different environment. You're going to track this through your own CRM system, There's nothing in TSANet where you're going to go back and close out a case. We're simply connecting those two endpoints together, and then you're off and running and doing that collaboration. So a lot of cases would come up where there might be customer sensitive information where you would put that in. You're not going to put that in TSANet. You're going to track that within your own CRM system or using those your own processes to do that. So let me give you just a real short demo on TSANet, give you an idea. So what I've done is I pulled up this test company. I'm going to go ahead and select. We'll take VMware Global Support Services. I need to collaborate with them. And here's that form. My information is already pre-populated. I would put in that basic information about what the problem is. In this case, here's what we refer to as custom fields. And what VMware does is they have it flowing into their CRM system. In order for that to happen, they need to know what product is involved. So we're able to come in here and add these different types of custom fields that allows them. So again, this is something you could put in where it might be a serial number, whatever it might be. And I would put in, and that could be a field over in this area as well. I might come in here, select the priority of the call. In this case, I'm a business manager. I'm going to see who owns this process at VMware. I'd be able to see that as well. Then I submit the case. Then I just wait, and the engineer should expect that response back. They would select a priority. In this case, it's going to be a premium relationship that they have here. So they've got three different types of SLAs, and these would be response SLAs. Right. This doesn't mean that you have to start working the case. This just means that from a TSANet perspective, that once you start working that, once that case comes in, you have X amount of time to be able to acknowledge that case. What typically is going to happen in a lot of these relationships that involves a mutual customer, you're actually going to work the case based on the customer's entitlement. So if they had a higher level entitlement, to be the same thing as if that customer was calling you directly, you would want to make sure that you got back with that partner as well. Let me go back here. We're going to finish up just a few things. The membership levels, I'm just going to touch on this. This is one of these things where I'm more than happy to have a conversation with you, chat with you a little bit. We've just actually changed this now where we've got 3 different levels, actually 4 different levels, but I'm going to concentrate on the 3. The standard, premium, and elite, those are what we call open group relationships. That's where you're coming into this larger ecosystem and able to collaborate with everybody else that's in that ecosystem. And that applies to all 3 levels here. So the difference between the 3 has to do with that SLA that I referred to as far as the response is concerned. There's a lot of things that we do with our elite members where we get in, we talk about partner programs that they can create. We do a lot more integration with our elite members. But the main difference here that I think is important to understand without getting to a lot of detail is obviously the higher level of membership that we have, the more benefits that you get out of TSANet. And one of the big ones is going to be in the elite category, the ability for you to be able to create these partner programs. At the premium level, you're going to be able to collaborate on a 24/7 basis. And by the way, all of these are global. We took out the restriction that had to do with you had to be a member in a certain geo. We've taken the geos out of the equation now, so every relationship that you come into, unless it's specified differently, are considered global. And then this limited member thing is where you're able to pull in companies into, say, like a partner program, a technology partner program. We've got several of them, some of them that include hundreds of members. But it's, again, a very easy way for you to be able to establish a collaboration path with your partners, and we'll help you onboard them, validate that they actually have a good support process, as well as an escalation process in mind. And I wanted to pull this up just to show you there is this, because a lot of these companies that come into TSANet are actually, in some cases, required to come into the TSANet organization and into a specific partner's ecosystem. So that's this limited membership. Some of them are actually paid for by the partners, but you're also able to pull in what we call a limited member, excuse me, a limited member into a one-to-one relationship with a hosted company for $500 a year. So very cost-effective way for you to establish that relationship with your partners. This is something that we've just rolled out here recently within the last year plus is a technical knowledge exchange, something that all of the members have the ability to get, and you'll be notified when this comes in. And it's simply what it just sounds like. It's a technical knowledge exchange, really geared toward specifically the engineers themselves. It may be talking about a specific tool that a company has, or a specific way that they're working on a thing, but they're technical sessions, and we're expanding this out into English as well as Japanese sessions as well. So we've been doing that for a little while, and that kind of ties me into this other thing that is a benefit of being part of TSANet, and that is our regional focus groups. And we've got them throughout the world. This is the ability for you to get with your peers. This is typically a management level type of thing where we come in and we have people that facilitate these things, and we pull in speakers that might be interested, might be a subject matter expert in a particular topic, but we have them throughout the world, and it's a great way for you to be able to talk to your peers about the problems that you share um, with each other, and common problems across the industry. This is something new. I just wanted to bring this up again. I'm not going to get into, but it is a benefit for premium and elite members, and it's a critical escalation. And this is beyond the technical escalation that you might go ahead and have. This would be something where you would typically get management involved in it, maybe even at a VP level or higher, or you may have teams that are part of this. So this gives you the ability just to say, "Hey, I've got something that involves both of us. It involves a high level enterprise customer that we need to get on top of this and take care of it." So it's a new program that we're just rolling out now for our premium and elite members. I think this is going to be a big benefit to companies that may not know who that person is over on the other side, but you need to get a hold of them to make sure that they understand that we got an issue here that we need to get a hold of for the benefit of both of us. And again, the partner programs, I've kind of talked about that. I think the thing here is, if you're interested in doing this, and you can see over here on the right hand side, we've got a lot of companies that are using these and pulling in multiple partners and managing these programs. And I think it's a huge cost savings for them to do it. We've got the ability to work with you in onboarding, again, validating that they've got a good support process as well as an escalation process in there. And we just work with you. We kind of become the account manager for your partner program through TSANet. Again, if you've got any questions you want to learn, I'm just trying to hit the high level of TSANet. You can certainly go out to tsanet.org and learn more. There's an email, there's a chat feature out there. You can request a demo, lots of different information. Thank you very much for joining us. That's all we're going to cover today. You can look for more videos down the road. Thanks, everybody. Have a good one. Bye bye.